Back here with Christy and Steph to talk the showdown between Iowa and UConn, two of the nation's top offenses. We're going to see two of the nation's top scorers in Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark. And you think about both of these teams, how did they make it here to the Final Four in Cleveland?
Well, it's been a journey, for both of these teams and for both of these programs. It's been a journey. Iowa, I remember when the matchups came out, they have the toughest road.
Yes.
I had their first round matchups in Iowa City, and they looked tight. Right? They looked like they were playing not to lose instead of playing to win. They weren't playing free, maybe playing with a little pressure. But I thought in Albany, they certainly looked like a team that was on a mission. They looked like a team that felt free, that felt loose. There's a lot of question marks, right, coming into the season for them, and I think that they've answered every single one. Players have stepped up in the moment, and now they're on their quest to win the national championship.
Right, and I was up in Stores for rounds 1 and 2 with UConn, and they were so dominant in terms of their execution.
Yeah.
They just stay disciplined. And when you see them not take a bad shot, right, you see them rotating defensively, and not that they don't make mistakes, but it's very minimal. And it's really a sight to see when you have a team that stays the course and they understand their assignments in their roles. And you saw the young players stepping up. You saw Shade stepping up. You saw Arnold stepping up with a clutch bucket in the last minute against Syracuse, who fought back to try to win it. But they have really come together with 6 players essentially down with injuries. They have more players hurt than they'd have playing almost, and they've been able to sustain their level of focus. And to me, that has been the most impressive.
And I think the resilience of that team.
Oh,
you
sure.
think about UConn, and there were many times where you even heard Gino exasperated. Like, I don't know why this is happening, and continuing to have injury after injury. So their resilience to be able to put themselves in position to be in the Final Four, I think is incredible. The question to me for Iowa is can you avoid a letdown? Right. So everyone wanted to see the rematch. Everyone wanted to see the LSU game. That was going to be the biggest challenge, whether it was UCLA or LSU, and that was the ultimate high. Right. Can you avoid a letdown? Can you, as a coaching staff, keep this team so laser focused and locked in on the next game?
Right.
And turning the page in practice. So they probably had a day off. They got here. They had some fun. They did whatever. Turning the page in practice to get them locked in again, I think is important, because it's natural to be okay. We've gotten over the hump. We've got that team who eliminated us last year, but you've got to be able to be ready to go.
Absolutely. And I was speaking with Gino Ariema about that, right? Can they sustain their level of discipline with a short rotation? And I heard him say, hey, we have half our team hurt and we made it to the Final Four, but I tell you what, we're not satisfied with being here. We don't do that at UConn. We're here, but we're here for a reason. And I think when you hear him speak that way, you understand that they get it from him, right? The confidence to stay locked in.
Yeah, both teams have exhibited a ton of focus throughout the tournament. There's been a lot of hype about this game. We know that LSU and Iowa was one of the most watched games in women's basketball history. Already been a lot of hype about this matchup. How have both teams handled that hype, even coming out of some of the press conferences here in Cleveland already?
I think they've handled it well. I think you have 2 veteran coaches who understand the moment, who can keep them locked in and focused on keeping the main thing. I think Iowa probably learned from a year ago how many activities there are at the Final Four, how many responsibilities there are at the Final Four, and the next time around, maybe you pick and choose the things that you do and the things that you go to, and the ways that you keep your team focused and locked in, because it's exhausting. Gino's been here before. And he understands that, and being able to maybe shield his team from some of those things and keep them engaged on keeping the main thing, I think is critical. But I think both teams, with their veteran coaches, I think with their leadership of Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark, and their experience now of having been here before, I think that certainly helps.
And you just mentioned Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark. Is that the matchup everybody's getting the popcorn out for? Is that what you'll be locked in watching for?
Absolutely. I mean, I think everyone wants to see that, right? And I think they're going to be directly matched. And I've seen Paige Bueckers really be a versatile defender, and I think I've been really impressed when Nika Mule has been in foul trouble here and there. She's been able to bump right over instead of being that secondary defender on her match, on Nika Mule's match. She has been able to bump right over seamlessly and pick up, even guarding Deasia Fair, right? Who is a tiny little guard, but she stayed right in front. So to me, I think defensively, I think it's going to be the battle, not just with those two, but I think collectively as a unit, both teams are going to have to play chess on the defensive end.
Look, I love that the story of this tournament has been superstar matchups. That we've seen All-American and All-American. I love that that's a general conversation at the dinner table across the country right now. And so certainly, yes, that is the matchup to see. That is the one that everybody wants to watch. But for me, it's a supporting cast. It's who's going to step up. You know, the key for Iowa to me has always been Kate Martin and Gabby Marshall. Are they going to continue to knock down threes? When they do, Iowa's successful. I thought Sydney Falter played great. Hannah Stuelke has been playing great as well. But it's the supporting cast. And for Connecticut, can they stay out of foul trouble, as Christy alluded to, and can they get production from multiple people on the floor consistently? You know, UConn's going to throw something crazy at Caitlin Clark, so you got to be ready for that, and everybody else has to be able to knock down shots.
Absolutely, and I think Aaliyah Edwards may be the X factor, right? She and Hannah Stuelke are going to be matched up. We're talking about Paige and Caitlin, but let's not forget about the trenches and the interior play, because I think that's going to be a huge factor. Staying out of foul trouble, glass work, and finishing in the paint.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know that Paige Beckers and Aaliyah Edwards combined for 50-plus points in their last outing. And we know Iowa very much in the hunt for their first national championship. For now, Mike, we'll send it back to you.